If you're talking, Michelle, you're still muted.
Tyler. Checks there. Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, Michelle.
Okay. Oh, because I have to call it to order, right?
Correct. Yep.
All right. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And then discuss and take action, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion?
Yep. Corey. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 3, discuss and take action, approval of February 5th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item 4, discuss, take action, open FY 2027 budget hearing, budget public hearing. All right, Zach, I'm going to have you discuss that.
So you just need a motion to open up the public hearing.
Motion.
Oh, yes, I need the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Zach, take us through the budget.
So nothing changed from our last meeting. Our budget for the upcoming fiscal year will be $496,970. So I have not received any oral or written objections to the budget. So I don't know if anybody else has. So nobody's here for any objections.
Okay, if there's no objections, I'll take a motion to approve the budget.
Motion.
Yeah, you got to close the public hearing first.
Oh, I do. Oh, geez, thanks, Zach. All right, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing, please.
Dallas City.
Okay. Brad, are you seconding?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we'll do approval and adoption of the FY 2027 budget.
Motion. Corey.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hey, is there anything else that we need to discuss today?
Just set the May meeting date. For the second quarter meeting. For May.
We've been doing the second Tuesday. Do we want to keep it there?
What she said.
Second Tuesday, so the 5th, or the 12th. Both work for everybody.
Yes.
Then it'd be like when? The AM or in the evening, 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. No, yeah.
May 12th. Perfect.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, I will take that motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
No.
This year. We're waiting here for the conference board too.
It's too bad.
Terry, are we waiting here for the conference too? Conference board?
Yeah, that's at 8:30.
Look.
Best meeting.
I'm checking out. It's
bad.
easy pizza, do stuff. No, it's gonna be new. Just between a couple of months. Probably. It should be.
Yeah. Someone does. Someone's.
My wife. She's okay.
Oh, good. I don't even know the timeline off the top of my head when the deadline is for submitting that stuff. I'll get that to, yeah, Candace and let her know that stuff. So.
Thank
you. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it is.
She's trying hard. Tail feathers off, so. Double duty.
Yeah.
So who's signing your report? Does the mayor, does the chair have to sign it?
Oh, yeah.
It's got the date of
Right.
adoption on it. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. How much do you think if you're gonna get 15 though? They got. One truck here. Oh, yeah, Meyer was there. Right. Well, we might pay for, tankers or something too. The new one, the white one? Right, right. No, I have nobody that's gonna have a problem with that. The biggest problem is it's gonna stay there. That's where you're at. Then we will do your work on ourselves. I feel like we've been talking. Let's see. Well, it's when you need to replace some steel on the road too. Of course. Right. Pretty smart, but still. Right.
Oh, you doing?
Very well, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Sure, yeah, just shy. Right. Reports. Oh, so Martin.
Yeah, Ryan.
Right, no, it's a figure out.
Yeah.
It's
to figure
out. That's right. When our guy quit, that's just Troy Davis.
Did it burn yet?
Yes, they did. They were first sale yeah, she was going on. Now it's running smooth.
You guys just stay all day and see how smooth it's running. You're welcome.
We should try to do
Fill it
that.
up
next,
for you.
For future, right over
Thank you. We stand in public hearing. Paul, did you get any written objections?
No.
Any oral objections, I guess, by anybody here in the audience today or on Zoom? I guess I'll entertain a motion to come out of the public hearing. Anything, Paul, you wanted to say, or,
I had no comments from the public.
okay,
Motion.
I'll second.
motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. We stand out of public hearing. So Paul, on your agenda here, you've got the amended budget and then regular budget. What's I guess the difference between the two, or what?
Well, the amended budget, because of the salary that was given to me when I came in as the assessor, that was at the same salary that was approved by the conference board at the regular meeting in February of 2025. And in talking with the Department of Management, they said that the board had to have an amended budget to approve that line item change specifically. Even though the budget itself was not being changed overall, that specific line item was being changed. And because by virtue of that line item change, they recommended that a public hearing and an amended budget be held for that purpose and that purpose alone.
So that seems odd.
Well, I would agree with you. I mean, if the number would have been over, or if the budget would have gone over, and also couple that with the fact that if you look specifically at the line items for the expenditure for the current fiscal year, we're not going to go over that line item amount either. That was budgeted for the assessor's salary. Now, what's changed was the assessor's salary was changed from what was originally approved by the conference board back
A year ago.
Correct. So I struggle with the idea of having to have an amended budget, for that purpose, but
Okay.
Carrie Johnson with the Department of Management said you need to do that. So
Okay.
that's why we're
Okay.
doing that.
So next, we're just gonna have a motion going to a public hearing to approve the 27 budget. Is that the one?
We have to approve the.
Well, we want to do the board review members and then affirm the executive board first, and then we can do the if we go in line, if we go in order.
Oh, so, okay. So next on the agenda is the board review appointment. Did we have any, I guess, nominations or anybody from the floor? If not, we do have an individual
Yes.
that we have.
We need to approve the amended budget first.
Fiscal year 26 amended budget.
Okay, gotcha. So we need a motion to approve the amended 26 budget that Paul just talked about, that changed the assessor salary other than the one that we approved back a year ago.
Correct.
Right, so I'll entertain a motion for that.
Motion.
Motion by supervisors.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion stands approved. We'll move on to the board review appointment. And Paul, I guess other than the individual, do we have anybody else?
There was no other that just came forward now.
So it's Scott Bruce is the individual, is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So we'll just,
Can I ask for clarification?
okay,
Now Zach seconded, but are you the only school board member here?
Yeah, I can.
You can motion and you can second.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. I
can't
want to make sure it was right.
My vote doesn't count, yeah. Never does.
how does that feel?
Story of my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just wanted
Right,
to
yeah.
double check.
Make a motion second.
can't
No
vote, there's no vote.
So I guess I'll entertain a motion to approve Scott Bruce's appointment to the board of review.
And what this is a 6-year term ending in December 31st to 31. Because unfortunately, with well, he'd already stepped off, but Bob Kroll stepped off the board. And we found Mr. Bruce to come in and take that term. But that is going to be, it happened at the correct time. So it'll be a full 6-year term.
So is there a motion to that effect? Motion by supervisors, second by mayors. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So what, after that, you have a firm examining board member appointment dates,
Well, we need to reappoint Mike Friend,
okay?
and to a 6-year term. He's on the board currently,
And he has indicated he would like to be reappointed to the Board of Review as well. And that term would again also end December 31st of 31.
Okay, do we have a motion to that effect?
Motion.
Motion by mayors.
Second.
Second by supervisors. Any further discussion? Roll call. Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Now entertain a motion to go into public hearing. Is okay, Paul?
I would like to have a motion affirming the appointment dates of the examining board members. I could not find in the minutes where that was done prior, and I would suggest that we have appointment dates staggered with Rita Scheckinger, her appointment date ending in December 31st of 26, Stephanie Weiss, her appointment date ending December 31st of 28, and Kurt Miller, his appointment date ending December 31st of 2030.
And that's just because you couldn't find it in any previous minutes.
No.
You saw that they were appointed, but they never had an end date.
I didn't even see if they were appointed in
Okay.
minutes, actually.
I did go talk to Rita and, and they, the best of their recollections, they had that first meeting actually before Dwayne had left employment, so that was kind of in December. They couldn't, and I looked through every piece of paper I had.
Okay.
Yeah, this board would have appointed those individuals, but somehow that's had fallen through the cracks. And I just want to shore that up, and we've got definite dates. And moving forward, we'll use those dates so next year we have our come for a hearing. I'll talk to Rita and ask her if she wants to be reappointed, and it should be reappointed to a 6-year term.
And it makes sense to stagger them.
Correct.
Like you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
correct.
lot
So-
on that board.
I'm not making the motion, however, I would
Right.
recommend that would be the motion
Okay.
and the dates.
Does everybody understand that?
Yes, I will make the motion to affirm the
Thank you.
examining board member appointment dates.
Thank you, Peggy. Is there a second?
Second.
Use that.
Dick?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You're now ready for the public hearing, correct?
Yep.
Okay, now I'll entertain a motion to go into a public hearing for the 27 budget.
Make that motion.
Motion by supervisors, second by mayors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand in public hearing. I guess any written objections, Paul, that you received on your 27 budget?
I had no comments.
Any oral objections here in the courthouse or on Zoom? Okay, we will entertain a motion to come out of public hearing. Thank you. Motion by supervisors,
Second.
second by mayors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are out of public hearing. Any citizens input?
Yep, motion to approve.
Okay, we have, thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the 27 budget. Mayor's motion.
Second.
Second by supervisors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now entertain, I guess, any citizens input. Yes, future agenda items, what would you like to have on there? Anything?
I got nothing right
Is
now.
anything anybody would like to have on the next meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by supervisors, second by mayors. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for attendance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir. Good sign. Very good.
Drink will all down on there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
case anybody seems sluggish, I gave up coffee for Lent.
What?
I did, and I'm regretting it,
Thank you.
but I can't go back now. I should have done jelly beans so everybody is here.
We could do like I do, and I just give up giving things up. Always works.
I think it's kind of fun just to see if we can. I'm in the middle of the struggle, so I'm not giving up now.
So we've had a chance to review the agenda. Any additions, corrections, conflicts of interest? Not the agenda will stand as printed. Move on to the reading of the minutes. What do you see there? What is that?
I don't know.
Budget amendment paperwork.
Oh, for the assessor,
For what?
for our assessor, I believe, it says 10 o'clock. Crawford County conducted, oh, that's for our 10 o'clock public hearing for the budget amendment?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh,
So Ryan's screen, see that?
that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting, yeah. We need to get our people on there. Ryan, we need the people. Where are the people? See, Cindy's down there, nice.
Can you just send me a message to Ryan or?
It works.
Share the screen at 10 o'clock.
Look at this all techy.
Got most of us so techy.
Is there anything in the packet?
Better send these back for
Oh, I
you.
got it. Yeah,
I didn't realize you didn't have yours.
Oh,
I've got it.
Cows.
Oh, nobody signed Clay.
I did, because I didn't know if everybody wanted to approve of it. So.
What?
Claims.
Who knows? February 17, 2026, the Board of Supervisors met at 9 a.m. with Craig Dozark, Chair presiding, members present, Schultz, Mulbauer, Dozark, Hayden, and Rosberg. Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. The board approved clerk report fees for January 2026. Board approved the hiring of Francis Porter, Family Steps, FSS, Public Health. The board had a discussion about resolution 2026-11, elected official compensation. No action was taken at this time. Zach Rasmussen, emergency management coordinator, discussed with the board of Verizon lease agreement. No action was taken at this time. During citizen input, there were attendees from EMS and past and present CCMH employees addressing their concerns. The board held budget work sessions with Chris Gosh, Conservation, Zach Rasmussen, EMA, and Roger Rasmussen, Sheriff, at 12:59 p.m. The board went into recess. The board reconvened a budget work session at 2 p.m. with Colin Johnson, attorney. On motion, duly seconded, board adjourned at 3:12 p.m. Agendas for the next meeting are posted and available at the courthouse on Friday, 4:30 p.m. This meeting.
Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Just that, just caught my ear that past and present CCMH employees were there. Trying to think the EMS people that were here and voiced their concerns about public hearing being put off.
The first guy that gave the speech, he was the,
He was, yes,
Right, William.
yeah,
was,
okay.
he was the head of it at this point in time and talked, had
Sure,
it handed
right.
out that thing.
That would be the,
Okay. So it wasn't, it's not wrong.
No.
right.
I can't think who else.
Move on to supervisor reports. Jane.
Oh, right. Well, nothing but good stuff. Last week, I did meet with Taya up at the annex, and they are ready to have I met the counselor. He was up there, and had Ryan come up because they do need internet. It's kind of temporary, so don't need the big fancy. So Ryan was going to check, and it's going to be $463 to bring the internet back up there. And I'm wondering if it's okay to take that out of the ARPA funds? Because
What ARPA
We don't have any.
opioid funds.
I'm okay with that. We have money in there.
Yep, that's kind of what it's for.
For
We're getting,
those opioid services, that's.
yep, that's exactly what it is. And they do have a current client that they're seeing in Manning, that, so they can actually transport him. So they'll be able to go pick him up next week and bring him in for his services rather than him trying to find a way down to Manning. So, and she did buy a little clean thing that says that what it is gonna be in the window. She's taken down the home health care. Taya is really, and she's gonna do some cleaning, and she, Sunday, I did let her keep the key because she's going to be bringing in some different things that she needs. But Sunday, her daughter dances and they're getting ready for competition, so she has 2 hours where she has nothing to do, so she's gonna go up there and clean and get it all organized and make it look like an office. So, they're excited, and it's
They're officing upstairs.
just in the lobby.
Just in the lobby.
Just in the lobby.
Okay.
Yep, so, the billing that they required was that, internet. Originally, Ryan thought it would be $1,000, and he sent me a text yesterday that's $463 to get the internet over there, because we need a little bit extra boost up from just a residential, because it is gonna handle some, things that could be HIPAA, talking about, people's, health, so we could just go with really. So that is good. And then we finally had our public health board meeting. And so I think it's pretty obvious on this particular, I love the way Monica does it because it's just simple. It used to be we'd have graphs and pages and, so I didn't have a highlighter, but I did put a box around where we really need to drill in on it's not holding its own. And so, but they're trying to do more with less staff, just get more of a team up there. And so instead of calling them home health care and hospice, they're all gonna learn how to do all of it so that they're not gonna be so departmentalized and be able to work more as a team up there. So that is kind of the short version of what we talked about. It's kind of a long meeting because we hadn't met for a while, a little bit of housekeeping, some updates on policy. Carrie Kersey was there, and not a whole lot's going on, but we talked again about that piece of property out on 59. We all kind of keep an eye on that. The neighbors called me a while back wondering what's going on. So I called Roger to see where we're at with it, because it's not getting any better. You know what I'm talking about, but right before you get to just a junk pile on 59.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
south on 59.
Right.
Okay. Yep, okay. Yep.
I couldn't think of who all lives there. But,
Right.
So we're at the stage where Roger said he's turned it over to Colin, and Colin needs to get the paperwork ready to start dating the cleanup. So, because there's cars that don't have been licensed. To Carrie Kersey's knowledge, no one is living there, and there's no septic system. That's where she came in on all of it, because they were. But there's just this unbelievable concern that we could have just turned around and put a driveway over on a county road. But it fit, because I had a question about that. But it fits, visually. There was really no reason not to grant it. But would have sure been nice if they would be able to get back and forth. But we haven't forgotten about it. And that's one of my things I have to talk to Colin about, to see how long that's going to take, because the neighbors are tired of looking at it. They have such nice homes there, and it's just awful. And he continues to drop another car off and another car off, and that house is sitting there on stilts. It's an eyesore. So they're going to take a look at that. Other than that, you've already seen their budget. Talked about budgets, variances. One of our gals was out in the parking lot, slipped on the ice, and for 2 weeks, she walked around and then she found out she broke her leg. But that's all been taken care of. Everything's gonna be okay there, no problems. That was
Say that again.
Huh?
My employee slipped on the ice, but
Yeah.
didn't seek attention for
They-
2 weeks later.
Yeah, it hurt, but she didn't know. She did call our on-call nurse for that web nurse, and they kind of talked
Did
through
it
it.
right away.
Yep, right away.
Oh, okay.
And that's the report that we were using, but I would think that would hurt, but I guess, you know, sometimes it hurts, you say, oh, it's gonna get better. It just tells us how tough our girls are out there working in public health. They actually broke their leg and continued to work. I just see such a change in attitude and teamwork, and they're gonna try to get more done with less staff. With the new gal that they hired, normally when they would replace, I don't know if to use any names, they would have hired another, you know, administrator, given them a title, but the gal, I can't think of the name, Valerie, that we got from the IRO, thinks she could just do it all and not have to have so many different departments that are managers or coordinators, just she thinks she can, which will be nice. So I think I just feel a really good teamwork up there, and it's a pleasure to go to those meetings there. Things are going in the right direction, I feel. The report I passed around, I think, kind of identifies what needs a little bit of work, and that's what makes it kind of obvious. That's pretty much it for the week, unless anybody went someplace with somebody I forgot.
I'll just let you know, Jason Schultz just texted me, said he was gonna try to call in this morning, but
Okay.
it just says, caucus is about to start and I have 2 bills on the list to present. I'll try but we'll text first.
Okay.
So we'll see if we get any
Yeah.
phone calls or anything from Owen.
All right, we'd love to hear from Des Moines. So I think that,
Any questions for Gene? Thank you. Kyle.
I had quiet week. I didn't have any meetings. Supposed to have a test center meeting, but they got scheduled for this week, so. Yeah, on one meeting tonight. Test center meeting tonight, Friday. Other than that, budget stuff, just still plugging away on that.
So have you made progress, do you think?
Well, I feel like I am, but then I don't know sometimes. When I feel like I make progress, but then come in and I don't like this budget amendment. I've kind of been working on that. Just think you have something figured out, but then
Did you come up with a different number?
well, I thought there was, but then you talk to people requesting it, and then you got ideas that say, hey, you know, this is what my plan is, and I can get behind, I can understand that as well, so. You know, I mean, it just shows, I can sit here and calculate all I want, but
Right.
you gotta take and understand what the department head's really after, it's just trying to put a grasp around some of it is our own doings, just whatever, how many dollars shortfall we are in this current budget. Setting up to be, it's trying to narrow that down, it's just, so some of it's at our own doing, so. Trying to minimize
Such
that.
as, what would those things be? That would be.
Well, I think we had some hand in some of that spending on our own, some improvements or whatever we've done, like, we'd have to go back and look at all that stuff, but we've taken things out.
with the lawsuit, part of that is in that amendment.
He's, yeah, I think $45,000 payout is was mentioned in here.
That the way you kind of make it, Terry?
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, I didn't know if you had a conversation with him and.
That, it was mentioned to me, that would be in this budget amendment.
Other question that comes to my mind, and when I looked at it, I still can't get in my head. I believe that the money for due would have been budgeted all the way through till July. So if we hire another one, could we use that those wages as they were budgeted? Or did they get eaten up by something else? Does that make sense?
Well, what, I guess if you budgeted the salary for that individual through June 30th, and you then aren't paying him, and you choose to hire somebody, that's the money right there that you choose to hire.
Picked up what I was putting down.
So you,
I don't know why that would be.
so the budget, I don't think the budget amendment includes any new salary
I
for the
think it
new
does.
guy, or does,
Well,
I didn't
I
think that it
can't
did.
tell you for sure where,
Okay.
Imagine it
Okay.
does.
it's in there somewhere, but is it, where is it? I just looked at total dollars
Okay,
being, the way I looked at it right now, I mean, if things projected the same way as it was, I mean, there's gonna be 53,000 short on salaries.
I know you tried to explain it to me, but it's still in my common sense side of my brain. You know, if it'd be easier if we use those that are left over, because that's what we're replacing. Out there. That's my, that's just the,
I mean, do we have anything in writing as to what that $285,000 totals up to, other than Roger just telling us? Down?
itemized somewhat.
It was itemized, we just had what, $143,000 for Fund 1,000. Under. Let's book it home. 7,000 for 1040. 85,000 for 1050. I think that's what I remember having. So that's kind of what, and then I had Terry print me out. That's Friday, she sent me that, the most up to date one. So I
Oh,
wanna
on
make sure.
spending for,
Yeah, so I went down,
what is that,
just went
what does that date get you to?
220.
This is what you want.
Have to
I
look.
mean, I worked, and I,
You got a lot of numbers and you worked hard. I just, do you understand?
It's hard
why that
to-
doesn't make sense to me?
I mean, it's not, there's obviously there's some room to move off of that, but then do you? Gene, do you cut 14,000 out of it and then be short come June? Those are,
It's actually
I think
18,000.
he's gonna be here for 10 o'clock.
yeah, yeah.
Ask him.
So those are, I guess this is what, that's what I've been working on a lot of the week, this stuff, the regular budget, so.
Well, I guess it depends on how close we want to get on the actual budget, or if it's just kind of an estimate, I need this. Usually a budget amendment is for this specific thing, and there's not a lot of.
I guess we don't wanna leave a bunch so we can go buy do whatever, because there's money left in the budget, but we don't wanna cut it short to where
I
we
get that.
gotta have another budget amendment. I think this is our goal, and I don't know if there's that fluff in there.
Gotcha.
I think at the end of your numbers, it looked like there's possibly 18,000.
That's not much.
That's not much.
Not much in a budget of,
Hey, Terry, what happens if department had asked for a budget amendment? and we don't approve it? Do
They need to adjust their spending
so they would
throughout
potentially,
the whole budget to make it happen.
so they would potentially maybe shut the door or something for, if you're short $18,000 and not pay anybody
Or
for 2
maybe there's
days.
something
or something
equipment
they
or
could-
something they
well,
had
okay.
planned, and so you don't buy it this year.
Okay.
You wait till next year.
so that's the one
If
thing
that
I,
works in your new budget or not,
and that's
Gotcha,
maybe what I
gotcha,
kinda
that's
did,
true.
is I went
you know.
through each fund line by line, and, you know, like there's a $25,000 that I don't know about that has not been spent out of extra in autos that maybe he's gonna spend yet, but I don't know. So it hasn't been spent out of that line item yet, so could that be something that he's planning on spending, or there's what
Or
you
you
said?
don't spend it
or you
because you
don't
need it
spend
in your budget, so you don't
Right.
go over.
Right. So-
Because the board cut the amendment down or whatever.
Right, so there's those things, you know.
You become ultra fiscally responsible and you do what you need to do to make your budget.
Does department heads move, since we've got these fund numbers, like between the 1,000 and 1,040, can they move within those numbers, within those funds?
They don't
or
really move, but as a total budget, they can't go over.
Okay.
As a
So once
total
again, it's
budget.
the bottom line big number.
That's right.
Alright. In the fund 1050, he's short. Even with the 85,000, the way I have figured, it's gonna be 28,000, still short, but in the 1060, it's 62,000 off. Salaries, so I'm assuming you just hop down in the 1060 fund and pay salaries.
Well, you don't have to, you just take the one line item long, knowing you need to keep funds in the other line item to make it wash. So, anyway.
Yeah. So it's what I'm trying to.
So, Jason said that he is available.
Got some time.
Hello, folks, it's Jason.
Hey, Jason, we got you on speakerphone. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to maybe give us a update or give us a play-by-play of what's happening in Des Moines.
Well, not a whole lot. Ways and Means will deal with the property tax bill going forward. I think later this week is the actual first subcommittee, and I believe I'm going to be on it. And we just finished funnel, so the mad rush of Senate subcommittees is over for the time being, and then there'll be a smaller rush in the next couple of weeks from House files coming over. So really, that's the general atmosphere here in the.
So did anything make it out of funnel that surprised you, and did anything not make it out of the funnel that you thought would?
Oh boy, there's so many. Nothing. It was a bill that I'm actually running. It's a black market abortion pill mail order ban. I actually had to pull that off the agenda last week for a committee, knowing that the House is going to send the bill over, and I'm working with the floor manager on that one to make sure that happens. But it's an example. I bring it up because it's an example that if you do your research for too long, and I'd rather do too much research than too little, sometimes you run out of time. So things like that, you have to coordinate with the other chamber and be like, hey, do you have a vehicle that you can send over to us? So we did that.
I didn't know there was I didn't know there was a black market abortion pill market out there, I guess.
I did not.
Folks, it is horrible. There are people, and some of this is part of the culture war between pro-life and pro-abortion, and some of it is some of it's just political protest. But there are websites that you can buy. It would be the chemical abortion pill. They'll press to zone. I'm going to butcher that, but we actually have cases where we have found a man got online, portrayed himself as a man, and simply entered the statement, I want to take care of this problem. And he got mailed in an envelope with a plastic baggie in it, a pill to cause an abortion. No labeling, no consultation, and he's a man. It just, so we don't know what drugs they're sending in. We don't know what dosage. There's no physical consultation. There's no prescribing licensed pharmacist or medical provider. It's a tragedy. And then we actually got the story that there are cases of boys in Iowa and young men ordering these by multiple online numbers. I can't leave that not spoken to, in Iowa code. So we're working with the House. So I guess that's actually one of the major things on my mind. But other than the property tax, the eminent domain issue is still being talked out. I don't think there's any huge like session-wide caucus agenda type bills like we have had in the previous years.
So do you sense any consolidation between the House and the Senate when it comes to the eminent domain bill? Or do you get a sense that the House would win that argument?
I'm getting both. I'm getting both. That the leaders' offices are talking, and hearing from other folks that there's no communication and both sides are waiting. I go to talk to the leaders, and I guess I have to believe them when they say that they are conversing on all issues, including that.
Okay.
But so I mentioned I'm getting conflicting information because the chambers themselves are not convinced that we're moving together or closer. So we'll find out.
So is same thing on the tax bill? I mean, the governor, the Senate, the legislators, they all have different bills. That's what you sense there too, is they're just all talking and there's a.
I can give you the Senate version from long ways and means and talking to folks, including the author. It looks like the House and the governor's bill are in general alignment, almost 70% similar. It's believed that a lot of the provisions in those bills are actually bills that are actually ideas that were in a previous Senate bill, and from the Senate perspective, those ideas were worked out, not passed into law, and we think there's a better way to do it. So that's why Dawson came up with this new bill that he believes is better. It addresses the concerns and has a broader reach.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I just looked to Hy-Vee downstairs there and asked, they have breakfast down in the rotunda there just to greet legislators and visit with their local legislators as they come through. And I asked the Hy-Vee manager that I was speaking to, so what issues bring you to the Capitol? What do you want to talk about? And it was property taxes right away. The amount of increases in property taxes make it difficult to budget from their perspective. They tell me it's a 1% margin business, and then when you don't know what number to put into the budget because of increases every year, it's difficult, and they're worried about property taxes.
Right. Interesting that you said the word Hy-Vee, because we just had our budget hearing for our assessor's budget at 8:30 this morning, and talking after the hearing with our new assessor, Paul Overton, and Paul came from Boone County, previously was one of his stops. And he said that he did a study in Boone that he took two commercial properties. One was Hy-Vee and one was a bank in Boone. And then he took two residential properties from 2001 to 2021, over that 20-year time period, that he said the commercial valuations were up 10% and the residential valuations were up 60 to 70%.
Well, that surprises me too.
Yeah, that's shocking. That was shocking to me to hear that.
That's an interesting data point.
So you can see why the property tax, people from the residential side are upset about what's going on with their property taxes when they see that. And the commercial people are getting a break.
Sure.
And they're the ones that have the means to pay. Sometimes, yes.
And then we get back to because then you got to consider rollback and all that.
Right.
Different rates that they all pay. But that's an interesting data point.
Yeah, I found that very interesting myself. We certainly appreciate you calling. I guess I'll just ask the board if Kyle or Dave or Gene or anybody has any questions or something they'd like to ask Jason while we got him on. Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
Jason, with the property tax discussion, has there been much talk about what we continue to bring up with the unfunded mandates? What is required by counties for the services? You know, a lot of what our recorder treasurer do, we're subsidizing those services with property taxes, but yet the lion's share goes to the state. Those are some things that are always concerns for us.
I've been told that there's supposed to be a list of mandates and just those type of interactions that is supposed to be being compiled. I haven't seen it yet, but I've asked for it, and other folks have asked for it just so that we know.
There's a list that's compiled by Washington County, and I think ISAC has that.
Oh, that's helpful. That's helpful if a product already exists, even if it's on a different county, it would still be the same state frame.
You would do the same stuff, yeah.
Yeah, if you reach out to Jamie or Lucas, they could get you that.
Okay, if I see them, I'll try to remember to do that, because I think our Ways and Means Committee would like to see it too.
Or Andrea, I think she's up there different times.
Seems to be we get more and more, and that's why we kind of got to figure out what you guys are thinking about, how that works for us.
Jason, even that mailer we have to do,
That's,
costs.
nobody understands it, nobody wants it.
I would agree with that, and I believe the intent is if that I can only speak from the Senate perception, from the Senate conversation, that if the Senate bill went through, there would be an inclusion to remove some of those.
Yeah.
Because there'd be a framework in place.
Put it online, put it out there on the World Wide Web, you know, put it on our, you know.
I'll throw that into the mix.
Yeah, that's where most of the generation, they tell us, is getting their information. Somebody gets something in the mail, most of the time, if it's not a bill or a letter from grandma, you throw it away because you don't need any more things to look at. But you go through on the internet from the minute you wake up till you go to bed in some ages.
Sure.
So as a grandma, are you sending out letters?
Yeah.
No, but I do text and email them a lot. Yeah, my grandma used to send me a letter. That's what made me think of that.
Sure.
Yeah, and a stamp was 3 cents.
Hey, I want to take the chance that we've gone to caucus now, so I've got
All right.
to present a couple bills. But I wanted to offer just a warning on an issue that you folks are dealing with. The EMS levy is somewhat dangerous territory there. It looks like the process to increase taxes is going forward without a real detailed plan going forward how it would be spent or what would be offered in return for the tax increase. And it's, regardless, it looks like it's going to increase that chart. Remember, I've talked about the chart between collected revenues and family incomes. And I think it looks from my perspective like it might put you in a spot where it looks like you're increasing that gap and not pulling it together. But I'm just warning you a little bit just so that you don't go into it without hearing concerns.
Gotcha.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day, Jason.
Yeah, it's time for me to head into
Yep.
class.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye, folks.
Bye.
Bye. I thought we had a pretty good plan.
What's that? I mean, it just seems like conflicting answers to our ongoing question is that, I mean, that was kind of my thought when we met before. And it seems like when we met last week, the answer was, we're going to put that together after you get the 3 public hearings, and we name this advisory council. And the advisory council is going to come up with our plan to present to the public. Is that kind of what everybody
That's what I
got? Seemed like we got.
And now he's telling us different.
Yeah. He's telling us kind of the way that I thought when we all met with, that they needed to meet prior to the public hearings.
How do you form the commission without? Hold you public hearings too. And last week, that was what they said, we have to have a public hearing so then we can have our commission.
That's why we moved the public.
That's why I moved the public
hearings
hearings up, so they
because
can get to the commission
How do you
sooner.
have a plan without a commission?
I don't know. I thought the players at hand would need to, like I kind of was saying, then I think that they needed to come together and meet and come up with a plan to present to the public, but it seems like the commission does that. It's kind of what we were told last week. So,
Interesting. It's like,
and,
I think
and I think the other thing that is reality is that any increase in those property taxes would be inflicted not by us, they'd be inflicted by the people. The people are gonna vote. And so if the people choose that this is a service that they feel is important and they feel they want to pay for, I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt that, certainly that ratio from income to property tax without a doubt, but it's I'd call it a self-inflicted wound by the people. If that's what they want to use, it's not by us.
I had a gentleman call me yesterday about that. He was very upset and concerned about this new levy. And he had asked, well, why can't the board of supervisors just don't have a public hearing? Well, it happened. I said, I think it is more fair to allow people
We could.
to have the say,
the majority
vote, than
rules.
us just to say yes or no. And that's the way it's designed. Yep, if the people vote it down, it's voted down. If it voted that they need that service, it'll pass.
It'll pass. Just like everything
But-
else.
Was he happy with that answer?
He wanted us to
Next.
mix it right now. I said, I don't think that's fair to the whole county.
Why not?
Allow them to vote.
Yeah, to
I think it's more fair to allow them to vote.
I do too. I think if it doesn't pass, then that means the people didn't want it. But if we never put it out there, we don't know who else is on that other side that has had an incident out in the county where they waited X amount of minutes and somebody's having a heart attack because this one was busy and there wasn't that. We just need that. We just need all that information out there, how it's gonna work, so people can decide.
I mean, I think you could make the argument that we are the representatives of the people, and therefore we could decide that, hey, we think based on our constituents talking to us, this is something that ain't gonna pass anyway, so we're not gonna go through the cost of an election on the people and do it that way. But in my mind, still, it seems like the fairest way is to let the people decide.
Just like a school bond.
And
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
think that the volunteers out there, and they're concerned about how thin it's getting with volunteers and the equipment that they have and the training. But that's still gonna be up to the people to decide if they think we have a problem or not, and it's gonna be presented to them, and they either.
Fairly, I hope.
I would think so. I can't believe it would be.
I mean, does anybody know who selects that commission? Who's in
It's an
charge?
Iowa code. That code that pertains to EMS levy.
Okay.
Want me to pull it up?
No, that's fine. I'll look it up.
I forget the code.
Right.
That would help.
411? No,
It's 4 something, 420, 422,
maybe. That might be it.
Trying to think what I'd have.
442.
We'll look it up.
Yeah.
But I understand his concern, Dave, that people just don't want any more
I
taxes.
think this board has something to do with that.
Okay.
And
Dave,
it's,
did you have anything on supervisor reports?
I did. Code. I had ISAC meeting last week in Des Moines, the Thursday. We will approve the ISAC budget for this upcoming year. There was a lot of discussion and the executive committee, we had met earlier to kind of go over it with Brad. They're feeling the squeeze too, just with county budgets, and we had a lot of discussion about the increased costs of what it is for venues, food, holding any of our sessions. they've gone up dramatically. I think that kind of started to talk more about outside the box, and which we will start looking around for other venues. Maybe it gets moved, some of the sessions get moved to Ames, or outside of Des Moines, not right downtown. But looking at cutting costs where we can, that makes sense. The last thing we want to see happen is people not attend. You think it is valuable for the resources of the network and all the things that we know, the education part of it. But we're gonna have to, going forward, just watch it very closely and try to make those changes, just like we did with the ISAC University. We got rid of that. We felt like New County Officer School was better attended, and maybe skip every other year than just lose money for one that was not necessarily attended as well. We went over some legislative updates. They're still kind of trying to navigate through IPATE, that whole legislation with wanting to do away with IPATE, how we can invest in that. We spent some time going over our bylaws. An IT report, ReGov has signed up for that new ERP technology programs. That was taking a little time to develop. They had more than 5 counties, but ReGov needed 5 counties to sign up so they could come and develop the software in Iowa. And they had more than 5 counties sign up, knowing that they don't even have the software really developed yet, because they are so disgruntled with their current situation. But ReGov seems like they really want to do a good job and have something that, because I think they want to start to compete in Iowa. Okay. A lot of things we covered there. I was gonna say real quickly, Kyle and I did go to Manila Daycare fundraiser, Dallas City Firemen, but Manila, I get both of them. Give them kudos for the fundraisers they did. Local people hard at it, putting their time in for a good cause.
To Charter Oaks Fish Fry.
I've seen you there.
Seen you there. We were just leaving a tournament at the high school, 4th grade girls. For Friday night hits. Has ISAC ever thought about possibly doing those meetings on Zoom or some way that people who, the biggest expense for the counties are going there, hotels and travel, and their biggest expense is their food? Would they ever entertain that, we could even have those, go to the sessions you want on Zoom and not have to have all the expense for them or for the counties?
We talked about that. I think years ago, they did a 1-day deal, so you could, instead of paying for the whole conference, you could just do 1 day. They've seen in the past where they kind of bite some on the back end, because maybe just have people show up for 1 day or not show up at all. I'm not gonna commit to the whole thing, I'm just not gonna do it. And they said the Zoom, the weekly Zooms or the
Here's the Friday.
Friday,
legislative
they're well
updates, 10
attended.
o'clock.
I think for the big ones, like spring or annual conference, they do always have that information after the fact, but I think just concerned with, you just don't want to see that. I feel like we're on that verge of having that attendance drop off. Well, and I know it's kind of if you offer that, is it gonna drop off because they realize, it's not that important, I can go do it on Zoom or 1 day or.
But the thing I would almost hate about it is, I think the most that we get out of those is the talking to other counties and just kind of.
That was brought up, just the simple networking.
That to me, I wouldn't really want to do Zoom, but if some people just can't make it. But I do think just the networking and talking to people, hear how they do things, and I'm always refreshed to hear that other counties have the same issues that we kind of do, and kind of talk them through, and learn a lot. You really do. Make some connections.
Thank you, Dave. I'll just briefly add, Wesco meeting yesterday. I know I've mentioned before that Wesco has kind of had a struggle financially for the first 6 months of their fiscal year. And they turned the corner, they feel, last month, and they did. And the projections are good for the upcoming months. And so just wanted to report that. And I will also say, I spoke with the Wesco's head of their cleaning services department, if you want to say, gave her Jeff's phone number and just told her we're looking for a group or a couple individuals that could come up here and do the basic necessities of cleaning perspective if Jeff goes on vacation or was sick or something happened to him. And she said they certainly would be interested. So they are, she was going to give Jeff a call. She was going to come up and see what the necessities are that Jeff would require to have done in his absence. So we should have that taken care of in case something would ever happen.
Did they turn the corner a little bit because Medicaid is kind of?
No, it's it's not because Medicaid increased their reimbursement rates. It just has to do more with them from taking their employees, sharing them a little bit more, having them do more, I guess, sharing their duties, more people doing more things. And so when someone left, they didn't replace them. They shared that person's abilities or their responsibilities with other people. The online, or I don't want to say online, but what's the word I'm looking for? One Vision, we talked about that has come, will be fully in place in April, and they're already starting to see some of the savings based on that from an employee standpoint and the old online service that they were using. So that's going to be all set up by the end of April.
Right.
So with that, Ben.
I'll be brief. Like I said, I know we got 10 o'clock there. But to begin, we've got quite a few utility permits here, almost entirely fiber installations. On the back of this sheet is how they'll be listed out there. No transport of liquids, nothing required for approval, but yeah, this is the stack of permits that came in this week. So it's that time of year, they're gearing up for springtime when they get started. And just one thing on that, when they do get started, we're going to try and meet with all the individual utilities out there as they get started, and just kind of make sure everybody's on the same page on where we want the utility installed within the right of way or with the roadway, and just everybody get off on the same foot on that.
So you handle that, or does someone on your staff do that?
Usually I'll meet with a foreman, or depending on what side of the county they're on, the Tim possibly would be out there. Just their contractor and the utility provider, just whoever we can get to be involved. Just try and get everybody, all the minds together. Okay. Say, here's what you're doing. Here's how we want to see it done. So. Basically, the HMA project, not much progress there. They're still they got quotes out on different projects, and they won't know a schedule until they really know what they have work coming this summer. But their late start date is June 8th, and they have 80 working days on their contract. So we'll know more here.
How do you come up with that late start date? What is that?
That's determined by the DOT. I don't come up with that.
Okay.
The DOT comes up with that. It's based on really on the size of the project. It really 80 days is a very adequate amount of time for that scope of project, and so they base that reverse from whatever date in October that weather starts becoming inclement. Right. Should be started by this day for that many working days. I'm not 100% certain how they determine the number of working days and they start it, but Yeah, that's something.
I mean, at 5 days a week, I guess that'd be 16 weeks, 16 weeks, 4 months, which you'd,
Don't foresee it taking that long,
Right.
but of course, they give them that time. So. And of course, the traffic will be open, it will be open to traffic during construction.
During
So it won't be closed road, they will be able to travel, with the pilot car, so. No, like I said, not a lot of update on the project, until we know a little more on what the schedule is. Great crew shut down, bridge crew, they're, well, when the weather was good, they were working on some, actually, I was addressing some concerns around some bridges and forwards, just getting things fixed, place blank, but right now, they are also assisting, Casey with, every 10 years, we do, cross-section measurements of all of our bridges, and that's, to see if there's been any channel changes over the last 10 years since the last time it's done. It's just part of the 10-year cycle, part of our bridge inspection process. And so the bridge crew is kind of helping Casey out with some of them measuring cross sections while they've got some cold days, get them out of the shop, for a little bit and just get some measurements. That's
have they seen anything? Is any?
Typically, we don't see a lot of change in the channel, and that's testament to the fact that we've been very good about armoring our bridges with the riprap underneath the bump. So when we have these high water events that come through, they don't wreak havoc with our bridges. They're armored to that, and that's any new bridge that we do. We put that large suit quartzite rock underneath as protective armoring. They're actually looking at that as being listed for in the bridge inspection as being a permanent countermeasure, which typically riprap is not considered a permanent countermeasure, but they're looking at changing that, having seen what Crawford County has done and how it's basically protected our bridges against these high water events. So, but that's like I said, every 10 years we just measure the cross sections and see if there's any changes. We don't typically see much unless we was to have a flood. And then we would be looking at all our bridges for everything at that point.
Right.
So.
Interesting.
Speaking of bridges, the next item there, a motion to approve. This is, I think we do this every year, usually around the first of the year, but this is a resolution indicating that we do in fact rate our bridges or have them re-rated upon inspection and whatnot. On the back of this is all our bridges and their postings as they currently are. Yeah, we do a resolution every year that basically it makes it those postings enforceable with
None of them have been re-rated or anything. They're all exactly the same as what they were last year.
Well, there's a couple that I did look at that were not included on here that did have ratings. I did include them on this, and but otherwise, yes, that we haven't. There was none that we had done an inspection on and it lowered the rating on this year due to some findings from inspection. Right. So some of them have been removed from the list because they've been replaced and they're now being bridges. So a little bit of changes, but basically the same postings. Nothing's been rated down due to an inspection.
Okay.
That's so that is what this is. Sure.
Most of those bridges that they've been graded before and now ungraded, when I updated your guys' route maps, those are all updated. So if anybody has questions about a rated bridge, they should be in your binder. Yes, I gave you to update.
Sorry.
It's good. You go out. Let's go on here.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna see on that side.
Okay.
Those are the loads.
I thought it
that
was like a road or something, and so sorry, I'll let you to look at it.
I know, but yes, this is if something that agreeable to
I think we need to do
Right, I
that.
just think I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution.
I will make that a motion.
Second.
And second by Dave. Further discussion? We'll have a roll call by resolution. Kyle.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Jean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries.
right, done deal.
That's signatures. Next thing was, but of course, the snow event that we had last week, just touching base on that, Thursday evening, a little bit of snow, the guys were out all day Friday, out first thing, getting things pushed off. I know, whatever got hit first thing in the morning, some of those areas blew shut by afternoon, but, by the end of the day, Friday, pretty much everybody had everything busted open. A lot of it had 2 passes on everything, the gravels as well, and to the point where we felt confident by the end of Friday that over the weekend, everybody would have at least, nothing obstructing their way of being able to get out.
Anybody get a complaint?
I did not.
Anybody would
Hopefully
get a
not.
complaint? Nope, no complaints. Usually
I
we
did get one call, one road that was hit first thing in the morning and had blown shut, and they were wondering if we were gonna come open it up, and we did end up going back and reopening it, I guess, so, and, but, yeah, pretty mild, snow event, but that was the process. So. The other item here, and I got this with it just a little bit before the meetings here, but, I was contacted by our sales rep, Brent Truckee, the D5 dozer that we had them look for us and did find one that is still basically an hour range in the year that we were wanting. They're for the most part, they're at the point where they can't hold it for us without some sort of commitment that we intend to purchase. Yeah, I know, so we're going budget's being approved, and he doesn't need the budget to be approved. He does need something, a signature on some sort of an agreement of purchase with some language saying contingent upon board approval on whatever date that occurs. That we do intend to purchase this dozer. Should things fall through, it doesn't approve, we can work on
Did
that.
you have it in the in your 26-27 budget?
We did, yes.
Okay.
We budgeted around the 210,000, not quite certain where we were at with numbers. Right now with our trade-in, we're at 199,000, so a little under what we were budgeting for, but we'll have a little bit in being a used piece of equipment. Yes, we are able to pay for it after the first, but we will have a little bit of that interest between now and then. The new piece of equipment, they can work around that, but being a used piece, we do have to kind of, those months, between now and July, make kind of an interest payment on that. He's gonna give me some numbers, what that's really.
We haven't set a date for approval of budgets. I don't know if you can put a date in there, but I would certainly say that. And I guess I would be okay to sign it myself, just stating that it's in your 26-27 budget and
he can
upon approval.
Any language we need on this agreement.
Okay.
He just needs something indicating our intention to purchase this dozer. Should we not be able to? He's got a number of people that are gonna get that dozer right now.
Okay.
So.
all right, yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to get it away from us, so.
Something I can bring what agreement or whatever we need next week. To the meeting. The other end of that is our trade-in. I'm sure he's got somebody local looking for that, wanting to purchase that. I'm sure that's kind of something that he's wanting to do kind of at the same time, be able to get this agreement, acquire a trade-in for this dozer. I know it's kind of awkward timing, but he has been working with us on a trade-in value, keeping it up there, knowing he's got a buyer for our dozer and able to do a quick turnaround on it. So do a little bit of price for us on that. Something that he's going to be working with us to see if that's something that we can make it do on that. Okay. Something that tomorrow we have our. I know it's 10 o'clock, but just one more thing. We do have a Secondary Road Safety Committee meeting tomorrow. It'll be the first meeting that we have to address the factor that has gone up to the large part of secondary roads incidences that have occurred with some of the employees. Work with Dean Shady with IMCA, see how we can see how we can address initially, I'm sure reactively to the incidences that have occurred. But as we progress, how we could be a little more proactive in what kind of meetings we put out there, some safety trainings to try to mitigate some of that and get our bonfire down. That'll be tomorrow. We'll kind of see what direction that deep shade is taking us on that path. So.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
And you've got Hunger Canyons, I know on Friday. What time do you think you're planning on being back?
Probably right after the meeting.
Meeting from 12 to 1?
1:30-ish, so I'll be back.
2:30. Okay, guys, I just know I've got an appointment at 2 o'clock. I'll try to change it. I'll be in touch with you.
Sure. Yep, and I will be gone next week from the 3rd.
And for the 3rd, Tim, you're planning on attending the Farm Bureau lunch tonight.
Yes, sir.
They contacted me and asked who was all attending, and I said Board of Supervisors.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
This next item, is that something that you need to stay for or the?
I mean, it's a public hearing, so if you would like to
I didn't know
say.
if this was in regards to the roadsides.
It is not.
Oh, okay.
Budget
Unless you have a
Budget
budget
amendment.
amendment. Do you have a budget amendment?
Yes, roadside, that's part of it.
Oh, we got it all.
So you can stick around if you want.
So it being 10 o'clock, I'll entertain a motion to go into a public hearing to discuss the budget amendment.
Make that motion. Public hearing.
Motion by Gene.
That should look better for you.
Is there a second second by Dave?
Who was the
Go into a
first?
public
Gene?
hearing. Gene made the motion.
Thank you, Roger.
So we stand in public hearing. I guess we've got. This was just from the sheriff's department that Roger gave us.
Yeah, I updated the general supplemental 1050 account, from 25,000 to 8,500. I found that we're going through my numbers, it seemed like, I talked to Roger yesterday about that, it seemed like it was a little excessive in there.
This is more mine.
Yeah, I talked to Terry this morning a little bit about it, so that's what I went back through, that's kind of the number.
So what was the bottom line change on it? Got me get that calculator out.
25,000 to 8,500. So.
So 16,500 less.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you were talking about.
That is kind of the number.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about that $18,000 number, so that kind of takes care of that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but since, I know, here again, I'm not, like, what you had asked Terry earlier about, as long as they stay. Because I went line for, fund for fund, and which Roger's account is fine, because that's kind of what I was figuring, but then in the general supplemental, line 1060, my projections show still coming out 47,000 to the positive side and 1060. So our budget amendment is just 1,000 and 1050. So would that affect those two in general sub? Because it wouldn't be going overall.
You're asking me? I don't know what you're asking.
General supplemental fund
Oh, yeah.
1060.
Okay.
I projected that it function 1060, that if things continue on the same course, there'll be a positive balance left in those. Which would cross out, would be more than enough to service these budget amendments that he's requesting.
Oh, it would?
Yeah, I'm showing like 47,000, which
So
I don't know if
you're
they're actually
asking
gonna
if the
be.
amendment's necessary in the first place.
Well, that's what,
Because of
but
the
here again,
excess.
these are just my projections, looking at if everything continues the same.
What's been spent year to date?
Year to date, if they continue on. But as far as the funds, like Roger's bringing to us, I think the budget is needed, but if we could go down to 1060 and spend those funds to cover the other two funds.
So are you saying that the budget amendment from the sheriff's department should be less than what it
That's what
currently
I'm
is
asking.
presented?
Could be less.
That's what I'm asking.
Your suggestion of the exact dollar amount that you.
Is there anything, Roger, in that fund 1060 that you see? Are you okay with what Kyle's projections are? Or do you see some, you know?
What is the 1060?
That's like Ivers, official admin, health insurance, dental insurance. Health insurance, there's budgeted
And those are pretty,
69,000 and year to date is 22,000.
and those are,
I kind of did the same thing you did, and what this, our current budget we have now,
Right. Divided by 8
well,
and
little
multiplied by
half or
4.
7.
And then add.
So there's someone being paid out of admin now. There wasn't for a while, but there is now.
Right.
Okay, these are the questions I'm asking.
Yeah,
So that 1060 will be used up.
right.
More of it will be.
More of it will be, not entirely all of it probably, but
So, yeah.
but he's not amending that part either.
Right.
He's amending for jail staff, I believe.
Right.
These are, so these are
So,
questions
yeah.
I was not, but if it was continuing this way, it looked like I was gonna use it all, but now that you're moving.
Right.
So start using it, obviously you're gonna use more of it up.
so it's not equally used throughout the,
Correct.
Right.
throughout the year.
It was
So
used
far,
less.
it's used less at the beginning, it's gonna be used more at the end.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That clears that helps.
That's all, yes, that's what I needed to know, but so I couldn't make some of these decisions till I knew what the department head was actually doing. So this thing that I found that.
So at the end, do you think we're okay where we're at, or do you think we should,
Like I said, we don't,
now that you've seen all the numbers and asked the questions,
nobody wants to do budget amendments.
No. we don't want to run
We
short?
don't want to run short with it either, because that looks
But are we
really
still
bad.
talking about the difference of around $16,000-$18,000? Is that what the number, if we were to make any shaving, that would?
I mean, from his previous, he's down 16.5. So if you were thinking 18.4, I mean, now we're at $1,500.
Pretty close.
So we're awful darn close. I would say we're awful darn close. I mean, and I guess to the public's understanding is that a budget amendment does not change the tax asking.
No.
That this is money that has already been, I guess, if you want to say, take it from the public, put it into our coffers, and we're just moving it
To fund
from the
balance.
reserve funds into these funds for the current year.
I'll be running in the negative. All right, that was a very good explanation.
So,
So are
Terry?
you wanting to adjust
We'll have to reduce that.
the,
So that it matches when you have it.
okay. I'm gonna go give this to Michelle so she can
Okay.
do that. So the resolution will, the total amount proposed in the increase will go from $748,834 to $732,334. That's what that's for.
All right.
so I guess, we have public hearing. Anybody from the public wanted to speak on, since we're in the public hearing, anybody on Zoom that's out there wants to, hard to see any of the names, I guess you
I
can
know.
see that number is going to be changed. Less than 16,500. Anybody on the board want to say anything else?
I'm glad Roger came up and handed that to us. That just kind of helps clear. Just better understand it.
Yeah, I just had numbers, yeah. I think I took the total instead of the actual just wages.
Yeah.
And that's where it came up. And then after talking to Tara this morning. Because one account was in a different account we're pulling it from. It should have been beginning of the year, should have been in this other account. So, that's where I think
Yeah, I think that's what I see with kind of muddying some of the waters, one's way over, one's way. Which general sub kind of showed that as well.
So,
Did you want to hear about the rest of
yes,
the?
yes. And what else is
So
included in
in
that?
the general fund, in the general services department, there's an $83,334. This is for the pledge that the board made in conjunction with the city and DMU. Their third of the, what was it, a $250,000 match to allow the city to apply for a CAT grant. So they could, and they got the CAT grant.
Great.
And with the imminent ending of the construction, I believe, of the wellness center, that's why that's on here. They're gonna be wanting their funds probably sooner than later. Also $30,000 in planning and management consulting for investigation that was conducted by the Board of Supervisors and not budgeted for. And then the rest of the general fund is Sheriff's Department, which you've already discussed. Deputy salary of $143,000, radio equipment and technology services of $7,000, and jail wages, $85,000. And then supplemental was the Sheriff's Department, which was just discussed, $28,500 in FICA and IFRS cost of deputy salary increases, and then $8,500 now for jail costs of the same FICA and IFRS. Let's see, General Services Fund 37, which is the Tower Fund. Budgeting for that transfer to disaster fund, which the transfer has already happened. We just didn't have it budgeted to do so. So this will correct that and not put that fund in a bad way that it was recorded that way. Rural Basic is the, and that's roadside department for their spray truck. That was, I think, budgeted maybe in 23 originally, and due to whatever complicated construction, anyway, it's now come to fruition, and I think it's on site, as I recall. Approximately $135,000 is what the proposed amendment is for that. Courthouse capital, the capital fund, courthouse department, an additional $100,000 that could be adjusted down. I don't think I brought the report. I believe it's 54,000 is closer to what we need. If the board approves the 100,000, it might initiate the parking lot project to start before the end of the fiscal year rather than waiting till July 1. So we could partially fund a project out of this year yet and not wait.
I think
But
that makes sense.
however the board wants to attack that is perfect. And then there are two county attorney department funds. One is forfeiture fund, amending for 10,000 spending authority. And only because I believe he just didn't budget in the expense line to spend out of there and has expended out of there. So we need that.
There is
Spending
there was
authority,
money in there, any trans-
there's money in the fund.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
All
money
right.
in the fund. And then also similarly in the enhanced substance abuse tract fund. Again, didn't budget for expenditures, but has expended. And that's only $2,000. So totaling 12,000 out of 2 fund balances that we don't levy for. But are necessary in our budget too.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Any
It does.
questions about that?
Anybody have any
It's a
questions?
lot
for
of
Terry?
info.
Lot of
Does anybody from the
info.
public, since Terry spoke, anybody from the public have any questions for Terry? She'd be happy to answer. Hearing none. Yes, do we want to, in the public hearing, do we approve the budget amendment?
Not
Or
in
do
the
we,
hearing.
we come out of the hearing
Come
and
out
then
of the
we,
hearing
then
and
we do
then
that?
take action.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then that final number ends up,
$732,334. Would be the total amount of the amendment.
Okay, hearing no other discussion, public hearing, I'll entertain a motion to come out of public hearing.
second.
Motion by Dave, second by Gene. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Stand out of public hearing. Now entertain, I guess, a motion to approve resolution 2612, which would be the appropriations to those departments that Terry just talked about.
That motion to the appropriation to departments.
Motion by Gene. What are you checking on, Kyle?
We have budgets from that public hearing, we have to approve the budget amendment. And then we have to appropriate.
So, I guess I was thinking that the appropriations automatically did that, or, I
It
mean,
does make sense to have to approve the actual resolution of dollar amount and then giving the appropriation to spend it to the departments. Is that what you're trying to say?
Budget amendment.
I haven't approved that yet, to even amend the budget. We're already giving it to the department heads.
so do we, I guess what you're asking is, do we want to entertain a motion to just approve the budget amendment?
I would think that would be correct.
And then we will do the appropriations to the departments.
And I think we can do that because of the budget amendment.
Public hearing.
So yes, I will entertain a motion, I guess, to approve the budget amendment as presented in the
I will
public hearing.
start by approving, making a motion to approve that.
Okay, motion by Gene,
You motion to
We
approve.
need to take the other resolution. It did get a second, so
With council, we can do that without, I guess my question is appropriations departments discussed together as resolution 2026-12 appropriations department. Is that all coupled together? And the Kyle saying it's not where you're approving the budget amendment and appropriating at the same time.
usually,
But if we approve the budget amendment separately without it on our agenda,
You all seriously saw
It
this
seems like
agenda on
semantics.
Friday.
I know. And I thought the
Seriously.
appropriations was part of the budget. Once you appropriated it, it was
work. I think
wasn't
it'll be
approved.
fine.
I mean, I guess it seems like semantics to me that if we approve a resolution that appropriates money to the departments,
You're approving the budget amendment.
we're
right?
approving the budget amendment. That's what it seems like to me.
Okay,
But
I just hate to make a motion with something that's not on the agenda.
I agree. But as long as we're clear that by doing that appropriating, you're also approving a budget amendment, which I'm fine with.
okay.
I'm fine with that.
so we have a motion by Gene already to
Stand.
approve.
And that's fine.
Is there a second? Second by Dave. Any further discussion? Now we'll have approval by resolution Jean,
Yes, aye.
Dave, Kyle.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Move on to, I guess, transfer of funds from one fund number to another fund number.
So that's accomplishing that, capital. It is transferring, the money from general basic into our capital fund, $100,000. It's just kind of a bookkeeping thing
Okay.
more than anything. It's not additional amendment.
Right.
It's
It's not
already
additional funds.
included in the amendment, yeah.
Make a motion for resolution 2026-13 transferring from fund 0001 to fund 1524.
That makes it clear that it's $100,000.
Motion, is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Second by Jean. This is resolution, so roll call by resolution. Kyle.
Aye.
Dave. Jean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Thank you. Move on to Chris, conservation report.
I did email it out to everyone this morning. You may not have had a chance to look
I
at it.
missed that, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I did it last week and I did not forget. Here's our signed copy. Usually I hand around and look at it. Page 2 is usually what we go through the most, which is public use, which is the money we take in generally. So yellow smoke, and this is for the year that ended in June 25. So yellow smoke camping revenue went from 131,856 to 153,370. That's 7,718 nights camping recorded during that time. So the 131,856 was a dip from the year previous. Lately, we've been averaging around that $150,000 mark. Yellow smoke, so it went down, then came back up. Nelson Park went down from basically 32,000, Heron to 32,000 to 25,791. Nights dropped from 2079 to 1,578. Could be a couple reasons. That bridge being closed probably didn't help anything. And then we were closed that previous fall for some of the renovations. So we lost a few months. We had the Halloween thing down there. So that would have been one busy weekend for sure. Certain that would have been in there. So that would have been part of that dip anyway. Shelters. We don't have any at Nelson Park that we actually rent out anymore. Like they can use them. We'll put up a sign, but we don't even. There's so few that we don't even do the $40. But yellow smoke shelters basically was all the money. It went from 10,565 to 11,840. Most of that is the money is from the enclosed shelter. The lookout shelter, that's $150 a day. And the open shelters are like 40. So most of that is from that.
Is there any way, Chris, do you guys ever compare or try to find out what other county parks charge, like Carroll County or?
For camping and shelter?
Yeah, for camping.
Yeah, I just did that in fact.
Or do you campers pretty much let you know if you're in the ballpark?
Well, we've been considering raising the rates. It's on our agenda for this week. Like Yellowstone camping hasn't changed. It's been 8 full years at 20. And we were one of the first to go to 20. And we're thinking about possibly going to 25 at some point. I don't know if that'll be this year. So I've been looking into it a little bit. In fact, I had a district meeting yesterday with District 3, and there are a few at 25. Okay. Sac County's at 25. Woodbury County's at 25.
Because we can't, I mean, from a utility standpoint, you don't know how much utilities are being used at the camping ground specifically, do you? Or
yeah, I mean, there's separate meters.
Okay.
Yep. Like sometimes in the summer, I mean, there's like 6 or 8 different meters, East campground, West campground. Okay. I don't know what the actual breakdown is off the top of my head.
Right.
But when it's hot in the summer, like our Mid-American bill will be, it can be pushing, you know, $5,000-6,000. I mean, we spend, it's usually around in the mid-20s, 26,000-ish on electric at Yellow Smoke per year. For example, Nelson Park's like 10 or 11. The only reason it's that high is because the fees are higher there because it's the REC. So the meters are quite a bit higher. So yeah, the electric is a big thing. And that just depends, like if it's really hot, like around the 4th of July, it's gonna be really high because we'll be full and everyone's running their air conditioners full bore.
Right.
Yep. So, but yeah, I've actually I contacted Carroll County just to see what their camping was, and I think they have a full hookup at like 20, and their sites like we have, which don't have the sewer, are at 18. And everyone's thinking about doing it. Like within the next couple of years, most places are going to go to probably in that $25 range. Sometimes when you actually raise it in your first, you know, it doesn't actually raise your revenue. Anytime there's an increase, people don't like it. They don't see that you haven't raised it for 8 years. So you've actually been, if you did it every 3 or 4 years, you've actually been saving money the last several years. But it's, you know, going from 20 to 25 is a big jump.
And how do you determine camping days? What is that?
That's just what, when they do
Is that number of campground spots you have open?
when they fill out a receipt or ticket and they put the money in the post, they'll write down 14 nights, pay the $280. It's the 14 nights that they write down.
Oh.
I mean, we make sure those match for our records. So those are the number of nights written down, like the 7718 at Yellowstone. Right. That's the number of nights that were paid for, that were deposited in that fiscal year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So let's see. Cabins. I was going to cabins, I think. It was 50,026, went down slightly to 47,680. And some of that depends on when they're rented and when they pay and how close to the end of the year. So the cabins are still doing really good.
What does it cost to stay overnight at the cabin?
Well, there's 3 different size cabins.
Right.
So one is $70 a night plus tax. The two small ones in the middle are at Yellow Smoke are $70 a night plus tax. So it's $73.50. The cabin number 1 is a 3-bedroom. That's $130 plus tax, so $136.50. And then the lofted cabin number 4 on the end is $100 a night, and it's $105.
Okay.
And those probably will be going up on Wednesday, I'm guessing. I think the cabins will likely be raised. I don't know about the camping, like I said, but they were rented 445 nights this year. Nelson Park was $6,000 of the 47,000, and those are all the same price because they're the primitive cabins. They don't have water and bathrooms in them. So basically, the idea there was like it's a waterproof, leak-proof tent with air conditioning. So that's how those were envisioned back in the day. So they're primitive. So they're only $40 a night plus tax, $42 a night. So that's why there's that's not too bad considering they're $40 a night versus, you know, cabin number 1 is $130 at Yellow Smoke. So it's a lot built up a lot quicker at Yellow Smoke because the prices are a lot higher. I mean, that's the rough, or that's the revenue numbers that normally we talk about. Random questions or questions about that?
On your fund balances, your cabin fund, is that designed to build additional cabins in the future? Is that what you have that for? Or?
I mean, technically, that was the original.
On the current cabin?
I mean, that we do use that money to do like cabin expenses come out of that money, taxes and all that. I mean, taxes are in and out, but yeah, that was always a separate fund. I mean, technically, the board of supervisors could use it to, you know, build a swimming pool or something if you wanted, but You could, generally it's been held for,
Probably not a cheap.
I'm not saying it is. That could be used for whatever. It's just held in that special fund, just to keep track of what the cabins have brought in. And then, the expenses come
Any
out.
plans for an additional cabin?
It would go, so you could put another large, family type cabin on the end. Things start narrowing down on that shelf. You'd have to probably turn it to fit it.
How much does it cost to build one of those cabins?
Cabin number 1 was the last one we did in 2020. And it was about 135,000. So it would be, I would guess, probably 180,000 or something now.
Good enough.
And some of that is with the current staffing, like changing them on a Sunday and things like that. Adding another cabin, adding another shelter. You're adding quite a bit more workload when you have to get them cleaned and all that.
Who was in it, please, that was exciting.
My guys, whoever's working on Sunday or whenever, it's during the week. Yeah, we don't have, some counties do at least on their bigger cabins, have cleaning crews come in and they pay a bunch of money for that. We've never.
We don't have like sheets that they have to take off or any dishes.
We have the bed. There's a few dishes in there, just a scattering of free dishes we've come across just to have some.
I just left them there.
Yep. With the bed covers, they're not supposed to just sleep on them. They're supposed to bring their own sheets, but they still just sleep on them. So you're still swapping those out quite a bit. Like we have a washer and dryer, in the shop. We're in the furniture room at the shop. So it's not as, and even when they clean, cabins are usually pretty good. But like Lookout, almost no one actually cleans it completely up to snuff. So if there's like, you're out there 15 minutes vacuuming or something, you almost have to vacuum after every one. Because people just don't get under the tables and stuff good enough. And we don't charge for that. If it gets to like, you're there half hour, an hour, then you're gonna start losing money off the deposit. But otherwise we'd have to take money off everyone's deposit. I mean, if the standard was you just walk in, change the code and walk out, almost nobody would get their money back. But usually it's not.
Well, who brings their own vacuum cleaner to spend the night?
Well, they're there. We have
You have a.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's a mop in each one. There's a little rock and shark vac in
Never
each
stayed
one.
there.
Yep.
Okay.
So the cabins are a lot clean, usually quite a bit better than the Lookout shelter.
Yeah.
The cabins are less issues with that, but still, usually there's something you gotta do.
It would be nice if we could have a coffee maker out there, because that's one of the things that I stayed there. Want to wake up and just have that beautiful.
Usually,
You gave up coffee.
I just gave it up like yesterday.
I'll have to look, because there used to be some in there, but sometimes, and then, if you have summer kids cleaning them, things can get a little froggy about.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us the coffee maker didn't work or disappeared or whatever.
Yeah.
So that there should be a coffee maker.
I have a couple.
I was gonna ask him about
Yeah,
that.
they're like 15 bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that,
You could actually go.
I had a phone call from a landowner by Manila about the Anderson Prairie.
Yeah.
And what your long-term plans were with that, or if you're gonna do something, or if.
I mean, it was just, I did send you the paperwork that I had on it. That was just a donation, basically just to protect it, because it was, they thought it was a remnant, like possibly never plowed type prairie area, then with around that little timber area. So it's just, we have several little prairie areas like that.
So no plans to ever move it or sell it, just keep it.
And I have that on tomorrow's agenda as well, just since it came up. Oh yeah, sorry, next week, my bad. I'm off.
And honestly, the guy that called wouldn't change what it is. It's just, owns everything around it. And just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think my board would be in favor of getting rid of it.
Right.
And
You
then-
just asking.
And then the people that donated it I think Larry still works at the bank, so I don't know if they'd appreciate it. You hate to take a donation and then 20 years later you're
Right.
selling the dog.
I said, I would just bring it up.
Yep, no, that's fine. But it's gonna be on the agenda just so they know it came up.
Okay.
And then,
If
anything
something
with-
changes, let me know.
Yeah. No, I don't anticipate they'd wanna in favor of getting rid of it most of the time.
Yeah.
Because that actually has a little bit of, it's not a lot, but, remnant prairie is hard to come by.
That's a steep little pocket.
Yeah. It's not like the, Oak Brook where it's a nice piece, save the timber anywhere we can, but we also got to mow it, things like that. So it's pros and cons.
I thought it was interesting when you listed historically, I guess, all of the things that the Conservation Board oversees. I mean, the 1,151.36 acres in Crawford County since 1963. That's interesting. I didn't know all of those areas out there. I knew of most, but
Yep, from little timbers to railroad tracks to Deloitte, just north of Deloitte, there's, a 2-acre little chunk of what we try and make prairie. It's hard on the small ones to keep them prairie, but you do what you can. And a lot of times you'll see when someone does donate something, it's like a little hillside that's 2 acres. One of the bigger ones, obviously, is the Norelius Pond. It wasn't donated, but obviously that was. But
right.
Pheasants Forever and the Ikes buying it and then donating it. The biggest, straight up donation that we've had since I've been here is 22 acres or so. It was, I believe, up by Riggleman's.
Oh, yeah.
It's in here. The name is escaping me now. Denny Broom donated. It was always it's just a hillside on all timber that you can't really get to. That happened several years ago, and that was a straight donation. And there's tax benefit, especially federal tax benefit for you get the right.
Is that in your list? Is that in your list?
Should be.
Or
unless we just added it to Riggleman's, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because
Because Riggleman's listed at 172.13.
We may have just put that together because he didn't want it to be listed separate.
Okay, all right. Nice.
He didn't want really any recognition. He didn't want to have a little ceremony. Nothing. It's yours. And then you get 100. You can take 100% of the appraised value. I mean, the appraisal has to meet certain standards, but right off your federal taxes. So no, we do a wide variety of things. We have little areas all over the place. Some counties have way less than we have, and some counties have way more. Yep.
Any questions for Chris? Or Chris, did you have anything else you wanted to?
Very nice report,
No.
very thorough, lots of good
Yes.
information.
Sitting here listening to them, have you ever done like a cost analysis of what it costs to operate like Nelson's Park versus revenue coming in and Yellow Smoke?
You want me to?
Well, I mean,
We know which.
mean,
it's not gonna be eye-opening to me. I
mean,
know that.
You can just run the numbers in your head. I mean, the total revenue down there this year is like $35,000, which
Got employees and equipment.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't even cover one employee there. But it's, as I like to say, it's always not. I know you guys might disagree or disagree as much as I do, but it's not all about the revenue you take in. In terms of like getting people to the area and things like that, spending money in town or whatever. But Nelson Park is actually more in line with some other parks you see in other counties, Mantino, and a lot of times your parks are a little bit out in the boonies most of the time because it's, that's the type of ground that got made into parks back in the day. Yellow Smoke's the outlier where you're right next to town and the demand is, I mean, there's plenty of other parks that take in a lot of money, but taking in $153,000 in camping on 75 paid sites, because one site is the campground house usually. I mean, that's doing pretty good.
I mean, we know from what you presented, I mean, total total revenues for the whole department is $276,000. And we know we approved their budget was over 900,000.
931.
931,000. So, I mean, in short, 600, cost of taxpayers in Crawford County, $650,000 a year to run our conservation department, which includes Yellow Smoke and Nelson's Park, which to your point that you stated previously is what you don't know is those people that come and stay those 7,000 nights, you know, how much are they generating in the county with other purchases?
Like, they've done studies.
I know they do. I've just, you sometimes,
you know,
it's hard to figure out how they come up with that.
Yeah, that I have
You
no
know,
idea.
Yeah.
Because I know we've had Paul in here from CDC, you know, talking about the barbecue fest and how much that generates. And so I'm sure they can do the same thing. And those economic development people always have the studies that they give. We have it for Western Iowa, Lost Hills, and all those stuff. And you just, I don't know. It's not that I'm just a skeptic, but
I mean,
it's just wonder.
It's not only Crawford County.
It's not. It's
There's
not.
I don't know.
You're right,
I think
Chris.
there's maybe one or
You're
two parks in the state that pay for themselves.
And
those usually, like, I think Lake Pohoja, they always used to anyway up in Lyon County. But they charge an entrance fee. Like, they pay people to sit there, and every person that drives through the gate pays.
Really, you can't just go and enjoy it without.
You can get, it's similar to, like, I think Nebraska does the same, like you get a year pass or whatever.
Okay.
But you need a pass or a day pass to get into Lake Pohoja. But that's how they are basically, I don't know if they make money, but they basically pay for themselves.
That's kind of, to me, that defeats the purpose.
I know it.
Right,
Kind of like
that's why
charging,
we've never,
kind of like charging at the
I
fair.
mean, since it's Yellow Smoke and Chief Yellow Smoke, you wonder if we could put a little casino in there, you know? That would generate some income.
his Chief Yellowsmoke's great grandson actually came in about a year and a half ago into the office. Chief Yellowsmoke's great grandson. I think it was, I don't remember if it's great or great grandson.
Really?
But him and his wife came in and
That's pretty cool.
were talking, telling us all about, you know, what they knew about it and things like that. They just randomly walked in, like 4:15 one afternoon. They just were driving by and walked in.
I like that.
Okay, 600,000 divided by 16,000 people, $37 per person.
$37 per person is what they need to generate in county, you're saying, purchases
To cover that
to cover that
tax.
600,000. And that would be basically in profit, not in gross. It'd have to be profit.
Studies will claim that you get back $3 to $4 area revenue or whatever for every dollar you spend on conservation. Of course, I just statistics a long time ago. And on the first day, like, professor's like, there's lies, damn lies, and then statistics. So how they get those numbers is beyond my understanding.
It all depends on who's putting them together.
It does. A lot of it depends, as we know, on who's paying for it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Any questions for Chris? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
The motion?
Yeah.
You want to approve it?
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the Conservation Director's 2025 annual report.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Kyle, second by Gene. Any other discussions? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Thank
Good report, Chris. Thank you very much.
So is Amy here for the Crawford County Historical Information? Just like that,
Just like
Very good
that.
mood.
she is here.
You say the word and she's here.
We need you to sign this. So this is our, the Historic Preservation's annual report. Thank you. So we do our report to the state to kind of show what we've done throughout the year. And I think we had a pretty good year. Our fair booth was a hit again. We
Always.
highlighted the historic homes around Crawford County, showed the different architecture, highlighted the Sears and Roebuck homes, the Barber House. They're just, you know, And I think that's probably mostly what the historic preservation is for, is to, highlight, the different homes and try to preserve what you can. And, so that was a big hit.
And the
then-
theme this summer is the 175th birthday.
Yeah. The other thing we did in October, we, for the very first time, well, we had done the museum crawl before, the year before, but this year we did a progressive dinner. And the coolest thing about that is we did have a limited amount of tickets we could sell, but they sold out in just over 24 hours. We had so many people wanting to do it again. So that was a huge success. Started out at Dow House with appetizers, went over to the Klondike for a sit-down dinner, and ended at the McHenry House with dessert. And everybody just had so much fun, and it was really cool that it actually brought people from outside of the county. That we had several groups that were from outside of the county that came. So there was people from in the county that wanted to go, and the tickets are already sold out. So we're hoping to do that maybe twice this year, or if we don't do it at 2 different times, we'll we think we got it worked out to where we could do 2 sessions in one day, like more of a lunch and then more of a dinner. And we even talked about maybe ending at the Dow House and do like a jazz on the lawn, or something like that. Incorporate music. We just have some good ideas, and it was really good that these 3 historic places are coming together and doing events, and bringing people outside. Maybe someone that goes to the Klondike a lot, because the Klondike does amazing things.
It does.
But it's getting them to the McHenry House and getting them to the Dow House. And so, it was really cool to see. Everyone had so much fun. It was fun to put on. And then having all of those groups working together. That was pretty cool. We are so close on the Bell Cabin. I think we're about $15,000 short. We have done a bingo in January. We're doing another bingo this Sunday.
This Sunday?
This Sunday.
I'll be there.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Raised right at $1,000. So we're hoping we do that again this time. We have asked, we submitted an application to the John Rath Estate Fund. And then we have submitted to the Southwest Community Foundation grants. So hopefully we'll close up that gap, and we'll be done with fundraising, which would be amazing. But to know that we were asking for 100 and we are so very close, it's awesome that with all the other things out there that people are, being asked to donate to, like the wellness center and stuff like that. It's nice that we have made it this far. So
15 more bingo games.
yeah, I don't think I have it in me to do 15 more. And then going forward, again, this year, we're excited to, do some events for the 175th celebration. We will be doing, that's our theme for the fair booth. We also have a link out for people to tell their story, their, how long they've been in Crawford, show pictures, that kind of stuff, so we can highlight that at the booth. And then hopefully we'll be able to do something else with that information. We haven't really decided what yet, but hopefully we'll have all that stuff gathered and we can do something with it.
I get a lot of people sending in now.
No, I need to promote it a little bit more.
And talk to Rick about it. Do you think going,
Yeah.
at the same time?
Yeah. We with month end, year end, trying to get through all that, and vacation and all of that stuff, trying to get all of that done. And now it's like, okay, now we can focus on this.
Right.
And we had an awesome donation from Steve Ulmer. And we'll be getting that out. We'll be doing a raffle. And so information will come out from that donation and how to buy some raffle tickets for that. So that was awesome that he did that. So that's what we did. That's
What
what
time
we
does
were
the
doing.
bingo start on?
2 o'clock.
Where's it at?
The Outlook shelter at Yellow Smoke. Yeah, it was a lot of fun last time.
It was.
So.
Some people didn't win as much as others.
That would be Jean.
But I went up there a lot to get a prize.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
So that's what we've been doing, and that's what we're kind of heading for, is to get, finish up the fundraising. The cabin is scheduled to be put back together this fall, so that would be fun, to have like a 175th celebration there.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be, and it's kind of like, can't really start planning it because you're not exactly sure if it's gonna be done, so that's why we're kind of, holding off on that, so
But they can plan it because it'll be done.
I hope so. I like
How's
having
that?
it, yes.
If not, it's half done. We still have a party.
Very active group.
Yeah, I mean, and I, like I said, working with the 3 different historic homes, that has been a lot of fun, and we really, I don't think they were all kind of doing their own things, and kind of coming together is bringing fresh ideas and stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Any questions for Amy? Thank
Already
you
asked.
very much.
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve her report.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second by Jean. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll move on to rescinding April 7th public hearing for the second reading of the resolution. And I think we were brought to our attention that we wanted to move that up. So since we've already passed to have it at April 7th, we just need a motion to rescind that date.
I did not make that, but I will make a motion to rescind the April 7th public hearing. 2026-10.
Motion,
Second.
second by Dave. So since it was a resolution, do we need to vote by resolution, Terry, or I think it's just a general vote?
Probably just a general vote.
Any further discussion? Like everyone is aware why we're doing it. Correct? So
Yes.
we'll have roll call. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Move on to set a date and time for the second public hearing for the resolution that declares emergency medical service to be an essential service in Crawford County.
Since we already did our first one, there's no 10 and 20.
Right, there's no more publication required. I will say that this says second, and because there already was a hearing, the problem was in that first hearing, the board didn't take action on the resolution, and I don't believe we had it on there for you to take action. So you still need to hold 3 more hearings. So there'll be a second, third, and a fourth. And you'll need to take action on the resolution at each one of those. That's a requirement in the code section, and I missed that when we were setting it all up. So,
But we can do that next week.
yeah, well, you'll have a hearing next, if next
right.
week is when you set the date, we will have it on there for you to set yet another date, and then we'll do it one more time.
One more
Set
time.
another date.
And we'll
And
have
then
a
you can
vote
make the final
approving
vote.
it every,
You'll vote on it every time. The third vote will be the
Okay.
final vote, allowing it
All right.
to either voting on it yet yea or nay, depending on what the board's
I
pleasure
don't
is.
suppose we can set all of those at one time so everybody knows they're 1 week apart.
I don't know.
I got people shaking their heads with that.
Yeah, we said ours that way all the time.
Then everybody knows there's
I'm
one.
not saying it's 100% accurate.
I know that.
That would make it
I
easier.
suppose
Then
you could.
makes sense to me. That way everybody knows, well, I can't make it to this one, but there's another one next week, and no, I gotta go, this is our last one.
We could set, say, next 3 weeks in a row, Tuesday.
so we could set it for
Exactly. At 10
March 3rd, 10th, 17th.
Just boom, 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 get it done.
I'm in favor of that.
I'm in favor of that. Make a motion.
Simple.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
I did,
Motion by Jean. Set the public hearings for the next 3 Tuesdays, March 3rd, March 10th, March 17th at 10 o'clock.
at the courthouse.
The courthouse and the supervisor room.
And we'll have that resolution on next week.
To take action.
To take action. you.
I know, no, I get you.
A second by Dave.
Second.
Any further discussion? I guess, with you guys being here, and reading it's, what is it, Iowa Code 442D, is that? 422. 22D. Is that the advisory council that is put together, the people that are on that is determined by the board of supervisors and by the EMS coordinator? Is that who, or how does the Iowa Code read as to who puts people on that commission?
It's kind of a collaboration of everybody within the county that deals with EMS. So obviously the board would have a representative on it. Each service director would have a representative.
Each service what?
Service director for EMS. Obviously the hospital would be on it. Other people would be on it as well.
Zach, that would have to be passed by our board or have to go across our table to.
So I'd have to reread. I don't know if there's any rules per se about who sends it, but I'll read it.
There'll have to be a motion that we,
I think they're definitely.
So yes.
so are you gonna bring forward recommendations so that we make sure that the right people from each one of the entities are represented? You're anticipating about 7 people?
Shelby, yeah, 7 to.
Shelby County at 7?
I think so.
I mean, I guess it just says 422D Part B says each county for which a resolution has been adopted under this subsection shall coordinate efforts with the local emergency medical services agencies to establish a county emergency medical services system advisory council to assist in researching and assessing the service needs of the county and guiding implementation of services in the county within a council structure.
So that would be all the service directors.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So we have a motion on and a second. Any further discussion? Not, will a roll calls in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries.
Are we back on our timeline then?
Pretty close.
Pretty close, all
Pretty
right.
close.
That is the,
So close.
so close. All right.
Anything next on the agenda is citizen input. Anybody here in the room have anything they'd like to add? Anybody out in Zoom land? Now is the time. Raise your hand. If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion by Dave. Second by Gene. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We stand adjourned.